Hello and welcome to Tonalist Painting with M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting we are doing today is called River at Dawn. It is an 11 by 14. We did the study for this last week, and that was a great prep for this painting. That was one of these situations where the study really helped, and this painting is interesting because in this whole pass of paintings I did at, I think this would have been September, I was really trying to paint thicker after doing a bunch of research about oil paint and discovering how it sort of thins over time. I think I overcompensated a bit, and I can tell you I really enjoy the quality of the thicker paint. However, when it doesn't always work with my scraping down process, in that I'll get these peaks of paint that just tear off, and that's not a great look. So I'm trying to strike a happy medium between thick and not too thick, and that's what I've been doing basically since I got back from vacation. This one I did paint very, very thick, and it worked out great. I'm really happy with this painting, and actually it's actually the same basic scene as the river at dusk that we did about 2 weeks ago, except this is a vertical. It's been flipped around and it's a different time of day. So but a pretty good motif. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think both this and the larger rectangular river at dusk really both is very successful. I have them both hanging up in my studio right now, and I'm proud for people to come in and check them out, and it seems like people like them. Now, what have I been doing in the studio? Well, this week I've been kind of finishing a pass of 5, which has been going, all that's been going a lot quicker since I decided to stop at 2 color passes instead of 3. 3 adds an entire extra week to my process, so it really makes a difference. It means I'm getting a lot more paintings done, which is good since 3 out of 5 are usually really good. The 4th one okay, and the last one, I don't know, it's okay. That's how it went down this week. Maybe 4 are good. 3 I'm really happy with. That's been an interesting process because it's always a function of the intuition versus the ego. The intuition's telling you, I don't know about the scene, I don't know if you want to paint it, it doesn't seem like a good idea to me. The ego comes in and says, yeah, no, I can make it work. And sometimes the ego's right. So, not very often. Actually, not often enough to listen to it. And that's why I try more and more to listen to it. So, the other thing I was working on this week was it's another 25 days of tonalism, not the ones that we're doing in the blog right now. Those I basically completed over this last year, little bits here and there. I would work them into my painting process, and it's going to be the same thing with the 25 more days. I've been doing drawings, quite a few drawings, probably up to about drawing number 18, drawing / underpainting, we'll say it like that, since I'm not using a pencil or charcoal. I'm actually drawing with a brush. That's been going good, and also I have about 12 new scenes that I've composited. My goal is maybe to paint, I don't know what I was thinking, because usually I like to work in passes of about 5 or 6. Maybe I will eliminate 6 of those and only paint the very 6 best large. We'll see. I'm trying not to get too many large paintings in a pass at a time, because everything moves slower. I've noticed it takes me longer to get things completed. Although that may not be the case now. I'm doing only 2 color passes. Yeah, it's funny how little changes in your work can make big differences, and that's certainly one thing I learned when I was in manufacturing. I was a manager for many years and had to get a lot of projects out, both big and small, and always on a timely basis with good quality. That taught me a heck of a lot that I apply to my painting process. Also, I've been reading a book by Scott Adams. That's the cartoonist of Dilbert. I really recommend it for any of those out there. It's kind of a success book, but I just got it because I dig the guy's blog and his way of thinking, and it's called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Succeed. It's a really good book. And I'm picking up a few tips and tricks for my career as a landscape painter, so that's always helpful. As far as the tips and tricks, when it comes to actually painting, I seldom get many of those from the outside. I sure did in the early days, though. I picked up a lot from a lot of different guys, but these days it's really, I know what I'm after, and I know my refinements tend to be sometimes small but have a big impact, like I was just saying. Sometimes small and having very little impact, but I am moving forward. I am evolving as a painter, and that's the important thing. And I think the longer you go at it, the harder you work, the slower the evolution goes, but there's a lot that can be said for insight. And insight's something I decided earlier today while I was at the grocery store that I was going to write about on the blog. I don't know if I'll be doing that today. I do still have to do a corresponding blog for this video, so we'll see. Maybe it'll be about insight. I kind of play it by ear, and as you know. Let's see what else is going on. Well, we're very close to 10,000 views on YouTube. That's pretty awesome, and pretty happy about that. Glad to see people are tuning in. I have noticed the numbers going up steadily, but surely, and it's nice. It's nice because today, this is the second one of, actually this is not my second video, but I'm going to have to write 2 blog posts today because I totally spaced yesterday on the 25 days of tonalism, which I did this morning, and it's now afternoon, and I'm working on a video for this painting, as you can see, and of course the corresponding blog post, and we'll be right on schedule. Everyone will be happy. And the funny thing is that I actually had the video done on Wednesday because I had some extra time. I thought I was really ahead of the game, but it turned out getting behind, and I'm pretty determined to get 2 of these out to you a week, mostly because like I say, I want to get these 25 days of tonalism that I did out there and into the world, and I've been sitting on these little paintings for a while, but I'll actually probably finish the last one right before I left on my trip in October, so we just finished up November, so they're around, and like I say, I'm starting another 25 days now, and that's always fun. It's always exciting. It's interesting. I like doing the thing I like about my process, and I've talked about this in the past, is that I do things that support myself as an artist. So I'm always breaking the process up into bite-sized chunks, and that's a good one for a blog too. Pardon me while I write that down. Which ends up the way I like to think of it, and the way I put it is that I'm supporting myself as an artist. In that, I might be higher one day, lower one day, but because I've always got something done, like when I drew a drawing stage, like on these 5x7s, I've been doing a ton of those this last week. They take me about 20-25 minutes each to do the drawing, and if it's not perfect, it's not that big a deal, because I'm going to come in with opaque color right over the top. I'm going to pretty much paint over the top of everything I've done, but and on that day, if I'm not at the top, at least I've got something that's already on the board, something to work with. And this is again tying into the concept of momentum, which I know is something I've talked about on the blog before, and probably will again. In fact, as I've stated to you guys, I think we're on, God knows how many blog posts total. I don't know, it's 170 or something, 160. Videos on YouTube is 170, and they just keep adding up. And so I know I'm repeating myself sometimes, although because I don't actually put the topics of the blogs in the tags for the blogs, I don't always know. And I think that's okay, really, because first of all, I have, sort of wanted to do that, go back through and read the blogs and add tags for the topics and things. I'm not going to do it, you guys. Maybe if one of you wants to volunteer, you can contact me and we'll do it together. But meanwhile, you just have to, and even then, I would probably still go and repeat myself, because the way I see things, we're all moving and progressing in consciousness. We're all moving in this reality, moving forward, always forward. And your comprehension is something that spirals up or down, as the case may be. If you don't learn, it spirals downward. If you're always learning and moving forward, it spirals upwards. So a concept you think you might have mastered, you may master even more later on. Anyway, I can see we're getting close to the end. Go to my site, landscapepainter.co.nz, and check out my stuff. You can follow the blog there. And meanwhile, take good care and stay out of trouble. We'll see you next week.